see me or not?
No, you're gonna have to scoot in.
Alright. What's up, people?
Yeah.
Cue into the sound.
ChefJBrDee in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man, how you doing? How you doing? And by the way, check out Advisory Notice coming out January 19th. Come check us out in Martinez with the show and whatnot. But either way, we are here to talk about some Star Wars, bro.
Yeah.
Real Star Wars.
You know, we're doing Star Wars review of Rise of Skywalker, the movie in its entirety. And we're going to talk about Star Wars as a saga and a franchise and what we think about it now. Where's it gotten to right now? Because it seems like there's a lot of fuckery going on. So I think we're going to...
it's a lot.
Yeah,
There
we're
really
gonna
is.
challenge that shit and get into that a little bit.
But bro, there's a dyad in the Force. There's a dyad in the
And
Force, bro.
we'll be playing some Jedi Fallen Order while we at it. And
Yes.
fucking around with some Jedi Fallen Order.
I mean, I'm already at 99%, but we gonna get him caught up. We gonna see how far we can get Mr. JBRD caught up within a Star Wars chat rant or whatever. We gonna see how far we can.
I'm not playing this shit again at all after I beat this. This is just an endorsement of how much Fallen Order sucks taint. And I think as soon as I finish this thing, I'm about to put it away and never download it again.
Compared to what's it called? Force Unleashed. Which one takes the cake? The first one, not the second garbage one.
All right.
Because even the first one was just raw.
Damn.
There was like you could go hunt down people. And there was an arena mode.
That is a good ass question. I don't know. Especially because how I felt about Force Unleashed at the time really kind of got, I don't know, a lot of hype and fervor and stuff going on around about it. And then the fact that you were Vader's apprentice.
Right.
That shit.
I mean, we ran away from Vader. We ran away from, bro. We were no match. He was over there fucking around the stage that you were walking on.
Yep. That's part of it. That was probably my favorite part of that whole game was the fact that, when you got to that point, you were powerful. Like you knew you could fuck some shit up. But then as soon as Vader starts like coming down this motherfucker, you like, bruh. Then you're just like your immediate instinct is to like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like you know it's bad. Like you are a Jedi, and this motherfucker, all he does is hunt and kill.
Like
even the toughest of you, even the most powerful of masters, and then you just been sliding around with some whack ass green or purple or orange lightsaber, pressing force, pushing shit, thinking you Nathan Drake. But none of it. It meant nada. The second that you meet that motherfucker, you fucked up.
Yeah, bro.
You fucked up.
That's real shit.
You already fucked up.
Vader is a whole nother beast.
Yeah.
Vader is a whole nother beast, bro. Like his whole purpose is to go around the galaxy and kill Jedi. And you just became a Jedi 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, for real. That's like the worst possible outcome for you. Worst possible outcome for this kid whose name I'm not gonna remember.
I have that shit in pants moment right there in my Instagram. I saved it. It was like, oh, this doesn't look good. And then, Sarah, she's basically like, nah, it's really not.
Yeah, again, what the fuck is this kid's name? This is my first time having plugged this shit in. Kyle
Kestis.
Like K-I-L?
Kyle, with a K, yeah.
Okay.
It's basically, oh, shit. Bruh, this is Kyle from South Park if he became a Jedi.
Okay. Well, alright. So let's get into this. But I just wanted to mention that fucking Kyle, this is the first time I have booted this thing up since I beat it.
You want me to take
over
this
a month or so?
I'll raise
Alright, go ahead. But I was just gonna say that that's part and parcel why I'm not that in love with this game. I think the original Force Unleashed just was a better one and stuck with me so much more because
all this shit, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, it was just a more defining moment. I think there was more actual gameplay time that you spent fucking this thing up. And then it's just kind of felt not like it was rushed, especially because nowadays like games are so much shorter. But I don't know, it just kind of felt like I'm just over with it.
I can't do it. I don't understand how you guys do these things. Where is it? Where is
what inverted?
Inverted, yeah.
No, go up to control, press circle.
You're right, that's fine.
Yeah, press X.
Is it X?
No, control. No, press X. There you go. Press X again. Yeah. And then go down. Press R1. No?
I think I just fucked shit up.
No, you didn't. Let me see. Yep. Press circle. Camera shape, performance, extra shit. I would think it said fucking controls, and I know for a fact I'm like,
photo mode.
here we go. Oh, here we go. Yeah, you just gotta go down. Yeah. All right. So bam.
Yeah, it should be done. Yeah. Thank you, sir. You know, thank you for not having a fucking poncho on, which is also.
I hate that poncho.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
So yeah,
I get why Jedi's like would wear them and stuff, especially like you want to hide what you got back there.
You know, so I mean, yeah, but real shit. Most Jedi had like not a poncho. They had damn near the
robes.
They had the robes and the
Drapes.
Martial arts shit.
But they're not flipping around and stuff like how he does here. But okay,
let's
get to the actual subject.
Speak about Jedi.
Let's get to the actual subject. Rise of Skywalker.
Fall of Skywalker. The fall of the line.
That's technically that's what the fuck they should have called it.
Fall of the line of Skywalker. The death of the last Skywalker. There's no more Skywalkers. Any naysayers out there might as well believe the Earth is flat. By the way,
For those
it is
very
I heard somebody when I was coming out of the movie theater said that that bitch ain't Skywalker shit for
Sounds like a lot of work.
bro, she was hoping.
She was. I think that's what her inclination was. Like she might have been thinking, like, I'm on Skywalker this whole time. Maybe they were keeping it.
She was hallucinating. She was high.
But
some of that desert mushroom shit she was chewing on. Right?
So who fucked Palpatine? The senator. Who fucked him?
Bro, I mean, okay.
I'd like to know, like, who fucked him?
the concubines. Yeah.
That would be willing to have his baby.
Alien prostitutes.
It was willing to have his baby.
Alien prostitutes. Maybe it was artificial insemination. I mean, that part to me isn't that.
No, because even like his kids, I guess it was his son who was leaving him. Even then, made it look like they had some family and then they were having drama, and he just had to dip out. And it was just like, okay, well, where's the? But yeah, where is the mom? That didn't make no sense. Like, did he just clone him too? Did he just clone his own?
So it's not really related to him.
Well, it would be, but it just, did you hear about the alternative script that they made for this thing?
No.
Yeah, so apparently there was an alternative script that the original director, before J.J. came back on to take the helm for this one, originally what they were going to go with after Rian Johnson's debacle by saying, like, your parents were nobody, they were going to reveal that Adam Driver, Ben Solo,
right,
is the one who had killed Rey's parents. And
was he?
No, but in this alternative,
because basically Palpatine's droid thing.
Sure, but the point is that in this original script that they were going to make for it, they made it sound as if there was going to be Ben's ultimate betrayal of like the light side and shit. He didn't like get redeemed and all this fancy shit that they keep trying to do now with all the villains.
Right.
It was more like he had to come to the exception and the understanding that he had killed Rey's parents, who to him were nobody. Didn't fucking matter. But then now there's this kid who's got the Force and like giving him a hard time and all this other shit. And
great Jedi meditated here.
When
he turned at points throughout his life,
he was gonna like deal a final blow to Rey or some shit. They were gonna have Anakin Skywalker and Han Solo come to him and try to turn him back, and he was just, they were saying like, he's too far gone and whatnot. So the whole reason I bring all that up is just to say that This movie was so bad that even when J.J. Abrams hadn't come back in here to save this shit, even the original script was better than what we got.
Right.
Like, this movie was so fucked up. It had entirely too much shit going on. You could see all the rewrites and extra scenes, characters are being thrown in. Like, you get to be in Star Wars. You get to be in Star Wars. Whole characters who have no business being in this shit get to be in Star Wars. Like that fucking, what's her name? Sue? The Asian chick?
The Asian chick. So
what the fuck was she even in there for?
She was there as a love interest.
To who?
So
to the
black guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say to freaking Finn.
Yeah.
Finn didn't give a shit. Finn was always trying to fuck with
But now Finn's trying to fuck with the black chick.
And even then, that shit, that's a whole other reason why it was stupid. Why is the Asian chick in it at all? Because if you're gonna introduce, like, hey, here's a whole other new love interest, I guess, for Finn, which we get to see even him in and of himself only but like 10% of the fucking movie. You know, there's too many characters. They're just being added at the 11th fucking hour of a 9-episode movie franchise, and expect this shit to stick. Like, we would have been way better served if they had spent more time like they did in the first new one, Force Awakens, where they were actually showing us how Rey lived on that planet. She was like scavenging and getting, you know, the stuff that she needed to make her own food that she was gonna like. It evoked some of the same shit that Luke did when he was on Tatooine. You know, he was a moisture farmer, and he got some droids, and, you know, it at least showed you more what that world was like, what Lucas was trying to show you. This was just one more menagerie of characters and people, you know, because they're popular on social media or some show.
That's really what this feels like these days.
They get to be in a Star Wars because of it. Like, it's not based off of acting chops and the necessity for these characters in the plot. It's all for the likes.
It's all for the likes, right? Because that's what it kind of feels like. It's like, these days, if you're not popular as a character, you get written on pretty easy, right?
I guess that's what happened to this Asian chick. It was sad because they brought her on there full well knowing what the fuck they were doing. They're gonna try to have, get the woke points. You know, having a nice, not that often used Asian actress to come on here and do that and the other. You know, it's cool, whatever. We do that shit in Star Wars. What the fuck is the point of that? It's supposed to be character driven, yet none of these characters have ever given me a reason to give a fuck.
Right.
Like, I think of anybody in that whole movie, in Rise of Skywalker, or not, this most recent franchise, Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi, and Force Awakens. Which one of any of these characters do you give half of a fuck about? Can't think of one.
I mean, not even, and, you know, it's fucked up because, I mean, okay, I cared about, you know, Padme. Leia, right?
No, if you're talking about in the prequels, Padme. Leia in this one.
I'm talking about Leia. I cared about Leia. I'm sad that she died in real life.
Yeah, because she's Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
She doesn't count. She's not included in that.
Yeah,
she's
that's
in the original trilogy.
And that's the thing, is that's the only reason
she's in the original trilogy. So, you know, that's like saying Han Solo, of course. We're basically talking about Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Leia Organa. Alright? These are the characters we actually give a fuck about in Star Wars. Alright? That's why they're there. We gave a fuck about Anakin. We gave a fuck about Obi-Wan Kenobi. We gave a fuck about Qui-Gon Jinn for one goddamn movie. But the new trilogy, can you name one fucking character you actually give a fuck about?
No, I can't. Because nobody in it really struck me character-wise. Nobody had enough character development.
Because the script didn't allow for that. It's always like, here, go get this thing. Go get the next thing. Let's do that. Let's do this. They never spent any actual time, like, showing who these characters are without putting them into grave peril, where it's almost cartoonishly like they got to run from one thing.
Can you believe Finn is a Windu?
I don't believe that shit at all. I don't think that came up. I think
yes, it came
wherever
up. Remember? It came up?
No, because I remember you telling me about that. And then I was waiting for it to show up in the movie because I was figuring they were going to... And again, even from the fucking start, With Finn, they always made it look like, is he perhaps force sensitive? Is he going to become one of the Jedi Order and all some type of shit? And all we got out of that was just like 2 statements he made in this movie. Where
in the past movie, he was it was actually in his name. They fucked up and they put it. Oh, you know how
I did not see anything about. I've seen that movie at least
Hey,
3 times.
They're doing like an interview of the character with the actor.
Yeah, I'm sure
and they
he
put
might
the name under. They actually put Finn Windu.
Unless it's in the movie, man, I can't consider it to be canon. I don't believe it. And again, no, the Jedi are supposed to be having kids and shit. And if Mace Windu survived that fall and did that,
no, Samuel was
and he's definitely dead at that point because he showed up in this movie as a voiceover.
Yeah.
So no, he's dead. If he was having kids and shit after being a Jedi and all that, I don't know. There's too much assumptions there. I think the movies just show us that Mace Windu is dead, which fucking sucks. And Finn was a wasted character to frickin' put to shame all wasted characters. I think that was the most exciting part of the original, The Force Awakens. That a lot of people were looking forward to was Finn as a disenfranchised stormtrooper.
Yeah.
That was really interesting, because then they could have been like, okay, well, what's actually going on with the Empire? Why specifically did he break from his... They never explained that shit. He just kind of said like, oh, my first battle, and I just rejected it. And it's like, since when? When is the last fucking time you've seen any one of these motherfuckers, stormtroopers, just be like, oh, I guess I'm just not going to be with this whole stormtrooper shit. Wait. It's a dictatorship.
I got an answer for
kill you.
I have to give you the answers, right? So it was in the last movie. Remember that the lady, that the new love interest, the black chick, she was like, "Oh yes, well, I've never seen it before."
Yeah, that was cartoonishly fucking hammy too. Like, they're definitely gonna fuck. Like, like it was just that bitch should have not have been in it either. It was just a fucking grab, man. It was all for the likes. It was to make sure that they had this sister in there who was this big campaign so they can make sure there's a strong black woman that's in this fucking thing. And it's just fucking over Star Wars. It really has. And, hey, man, I'm rocking a Black Excellence shirt right now, man. I believe in social justice and the cause and all that to an extent. But some of the bullshit is creeping into our mediums. And in this case, it was an example of like SJW shit and straight up fucking up a franchise. Sorry, like that's the way I feel, but that's what I think happened. I think not like in classical social justice. Again, I'm talking about. I admire Malcolm X. Mm-hmm. All right, I admire MLK, of course. I'm getting ready to come up on his goddamn day.
Advisory notice.
I respect the people who actually went out and did some shit. None of these keyboard warriors. None of this, I stood for a cause by wearing a fucking sconch, and I did an ad campaign where I gave away maybe 5% of my earnings for this one job. Therefore, you're woke and you should be in a Star Wars movie. They'd have been better spent telling all those people to go the fuck home and spend more scenes actually with the 3 of these principal characters we're actually supposed to see and spend time with. The main antagonist of the fucking movie is introduced at the literal last hour, and his return is advertised to us in Fortnite. Not in a movie, in Fortnite. And so they could have told this Asian bitch and this low love story plot thing they were trying to do with Finn twice to fuck off, and had at least an extra 30 minutes or so in these movies to explain some of the shit that needed to be fucking explained.
About is that these 3 movies that just came out don't even really feel like sequels. Like they feel like standalone movies. They don't really have that much connection other than like the slight love interest that is Finn and that Asian chick and Rey and what's his name. And then they finally kissed and apparently had a baby.
Yeah, forced baby right then and there.
Bruh, but I'm just saying, it's like...
And then even Rian Johnson had at least like my favorite scene out of this new franchise. Mm-hmm. And that was the... turn that shit off. Or podcasting, I guess.
Yeah, I got you.
It's fucked up to say because like I still think The Last Jedi is the weakest movie in the entire franchise. I still think that now. But Rian Johnson, on accident, managed to have the best scene in and of itself, standalone scene in these movies. And that was at the very end where there was that little kid that was being held on that planet as a slave. And he was walking out because him and the other kids got chased off by their mean overlord or whatever. And he just, at first, he appears to be a little kid, but then he walks outside, you know, he's going to do his chores, and he uses the Force to pull a broom to him. And then he's looking off to the sky, and he's kind of holding it up like it's a lightsaber. At that point, it was supposed to be The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
If they had, in my opinion, started from scratch even there, it would have been a better story. I think Rey and Finn and Poe never worked as characters. Nobody ever cared. And they should have used that opportunity to start from scratch. If this movie had been about that kid maybe a couple years later, or some shit, then they would have ended up with a stronger finish to this Skywalker saga that we got going on now. Like, Luke was already dead. Leia's about to die. They could have just killed her off, you know, ceremonially died of old age or whatever. And then Rey could have been killed by Ren or some other shit. Like, who fucking cares? Because, again, nobody really gave a fuck. Like, Lucas, at the very least, when he made Jar Jar Binks, he knew to put his ass away. Put him in the fucking backdrop or something.
In the kids shows.
And I'm telling you, even right now, I have a higher opinion of Jar Jar Binks than I do of Poe. Or even Finn at this point. Like, at least Rey's got a lightsaber that she barely uses well. Bro. Like, this kid, honestly, has more lightsaber skills than Rey does. And even this is supposed to be more grounded in, you know, quote-unquote, the Star Wars reality. But, I really kind of felt like if they had just gone away with everything that they had worked up to that point with Rian Johnson's film, and then they started working on this pretty much from scratch, but just focus on that kid at the end of the last movie.
Bruh,
to be the Last Jedi. And then this one, you know, the Rise of Skywalker or whatever, they could have made it like, you know, he was similar to Anakin, you know, he was a slave child or whatever, who was Force sensitive. They could have just been like, hey, this thing is gonna happen all over again. Because the Force is just keep balancing itself out. It's light, it's dark, it's obvious there ain't no light going on right now. It isn't, and that's the part of the vanity of these movies, and even the Jedi and Rey herself. I still don't consider her wholly a hero in this story, because whether she wins or not, and even if all of the Jedi are wiped out and all of this shit, still, the Force is going to find some way to imbue itself into some child and lead it down the fucking pathway to one day learning how to wield a lightsaber and fight for justice and all that shit again. Like, none of it will matter. And I think if they had just acknowledged that and stopped trying to treat it like it was purely some marketing scheme or whatever. Because again, that's what all this was. It was just all like social media hype and getting like, oh, who's going to be on it now? And then they get in the movie, they obviously shouldn't even have been in the movie.
Yeah, that is a good point to make.
That's horrible.
Like a good way they could go with this series right now is like basically drop the whole Rey, Finn, and all the characters, or leave them as side characters. Leave them as side characters.
No, I don't think those contracts will be renewed for them at all. Well, they might come back. And again, the movies that they're making now have nothing to do with the Skywalker thing. It'll probably be set thousands of years in the past or some shit.
Before all this, what?
Yeah, I am anticipating an Old Republic or some other era in galactic, history or whatever they haven't explored with Northern.
Old Republic would be wrong.
Because they definitely said, as of this point, the Skywalker saga is done. They did 9 movies, and those were already 6 too fucking long. Yeah. So, I will argue for the prequels. I'll say they're 3 movies too long. They shouldn't have made this. But yeah, man, if they make another one, I don't think you're gonna see Daisy Ridley or John Boyega or whatever his name is. And it's because like their characters weren't well received. I mean, like the entire franchise wasn't well received. I think they would be better off, and Disney would be happier to just see this whole thing just fucking go away, and focus on something that they actually have like a blueprint for. Because they didn't have that for this. They let J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson just kind of do whatever the fuck they want. But they didn't have a Kevin Feige. And this is what I've been arguing for. I think Jon Favreau needs to be that guy. The dude that makes The Mandalorian now.
Yeah.
I think he needs to be there.
Mean, obviously, that story is really well put together.
Yeah,
you know
he's the one who's like letting all the other directors come in and make like each episode, and then he goes over with like like an executive producer. He says like, "Hey, this is what's gonna work. You did at least hit these points. Okay, I don't think that scene will work right there. Here's why." He does what Kevin Feige does for Marvel. And if they let him come over here and take over the Star Wars part of that, then I think we're into something. I think at that point you'll have some raw shit. Yes. They can even, I don't care if they bring
because you see what he can do with that type of budget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, the Disney Plus budget can't be that great.
I'm sure.
Compared to what they're.
Well, I mean, I don't think The Mandalorian probably didn't take that much to make. It's very practical.
That's what I'm saying. So what if you put that type, of Star Wars money into that in Favreau's hands too?
Yeah.
Star Wars would be so cool.
Yeah.
And you give them a good plot that actually makes sense. Like they degraded, first of all, the lightsaber. You know what I mean? If they because okay, in the last movie they did make it they try to bring back the dignity to the weapon or whatnot, and they brought more mystery with the yellow lightsaber. Which if you go back to the older,
that was just them just throwing something out there just to be cool and different or whatever. It had no meaning.
Right, but a good way that you could spin it is that like those kids, for example, in the future they can figure out their way. Either they can go to the light side or they can go to the dark side. Because Rey's got a very good sense of both sides. And no matter what, you're going to have those people who love Rey. You know what I mean? You have those people who just love to see her, want to see her again in another movie, installment, whatever.
A lot of people want to see Hayden Christensen in a lot of movies and shit now, but we ain't getting that either now, are we? They obviously don't give a fuck about that. They just... Well, again, it's all about the likes, man. It's about the multimedia shit. It's the social media. It's them making sure that they can have enough galas and enough red carpet events where they get this, that, and the other person over there. That's all it is. It's got nothing to do with actual storytelling now and all that. So that's the thing that was killing me. So yeah, fuck.
So where do you think the story is right now?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Moving on. So yeah, I hated this one. I really did. I think it was a horrible movie. If I had to rate it, I would probably say
special effects. I like
4 out of 10.
I like the special effects. Story, I didn't like.
Even the special effects. Well, the set pieces were dope. I like some of the set pieces in and of themselves, but you couldn't spend any time on that planet to actually. Because again, this movie is filmed like a Michael Bay flick.
Yeah.
It's just all like 3 seconds, like. So you couldn't really enjoy shit, and that's too bad, man.
Take the shot. Affirmative.
So yeah, if I had to put a number on it, I would say 4 out of 10. I'll give it a fucking solid D or almost an F.
That's solid. I ain't gonna take away from that.
But as the franchise stands now, I think if they hadn't made these ones, it would have been better. I think the best Star Wars that we have gotten, that's like the most Star Wars-y, has been the Clone Wars. It's been what we got with the prequels and the expansion of Coruscant, the Cold War worlds, and the Clone Army, and even the show, the animated show, and now like the younger generation. Some people like around y'all, a little bit younger than you, in fact, are getting the Rebels, the Disney XD, Disney Plus type of stuff. We're getting those things, and that's dope. That's cool. But that stuff came because of the prequels. And this shit is not gonna, like. Tell me that this franchise got now is gonna lead to spinoffs.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, you're not gonna get a.
You already have Mandalorian.
Well, the Mandalorian is a
You ever
part.
have, like,
the Mandalorian is its own
Rebels?
thing, and again, Rebels is part of the prequel. Okay, I'm saying you're not gonna get like a standalone show and spin-offs and games
of the
and
situation that's happening.
expanding the lore of
Right,
the era
right.
that is, I guess, what 30 years after the Battle of Yavin.
No.
You know, you're not gonna get that.
No.
You're not. And
I
I
see what
think
you're
the
saying.
Clone Wars did what it needed to do and established itself as a.
That's why you got so
You
many
know.
spin-offs with it, because
Yeah.
there was so much story and lore behind it, canon-wise. That's why, like, the extended universe could even go even further with that.
Yeah.
You know what
So
I mean?
I'm
But this,
anticipating.
yeah, you know, I see what you're saying, because this is, if this was like anime, right? I'm gonna relate this to anime for a second. This can't be Dragon Ball because it's not related to any specific character and they get it held strong, right? It's more like Naruto. It's like character,
Hard to look at
right?
these crystals.
Like everybody that can use the Force has to be raw themselves, and like eventually they're gonna like die and fuck up, and something's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So the thing is that we just don't have any good characters, and I don't like how the road didn't just push away or something. That was kind of.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I don't think you'll see anything attached to these new ones because again, they've been critically panned. People hate them.
And it's not because Rey is female or anything, because Ahsoka
Obviously not. Nobody.
Ahsoka Tano's raw.
She just I don't like her as an actress first and foremost, and she wasn't Daisy Ridley. I mean, and she wasn't given much to work with. Again, in this show, these movies, this franchise, where she's not given enough time to expound upon this or say what she's actually feeling. It's all exposition. It's all like, oh, they fly now. You know, it's all quirky and trying to appeal to little retarded 6-year-old kids, like retarded 6-year-old, not even like actual, cognitively stable 6-year-old
because it's
children.
all jokes. It's like not even good jokes. Like,
they're like worse than dad jokes.
yeah, before like
The Star Wars had times when it was funny.
yeah.
It could actually entertain you. And a lot of that was due to
What is it, buddy?
the original 3, Luke, Han, and Leia, and their chemistry.
Yeah.
There is, I think, in this entire franchise, I could probably say Poe, Finn, and Rey have probably spent all of 15 collective minutes together.
15, 20.
Like, those can't also be your principal protagonists who have character development and all this other shit. It's just it's pitiful.
The Force is not with you.
Definitely not there. Whoa. So we're gonna say where the franchise is now, where we think it's
To me, the Star Wars franchise is just it's pretty much where you're at with this fucking. It's where you're at with this segment. Like it's dead in the water, bro. Like you can't even expand on it. You're right. You can't expand on it. Like in the Clone Wars, after Vader, even between Vader, there's a lot of questions that could have been answered hellways. All right. And now there's really only one way things are going to turn out, and that is all kind of determined what Rey does, what those Force-sensitive children do, and honestly, like they're trying to kind of fix their tracks. That's kind of what these games and all these things feel like. It feels like LucasArts and the Star Wars community trying to fix the canon tracks so they can own it. You know what I mean? Because there's so much good extended story on this, but like the way Disney everybody's on that's something they're using for us. Every Jedi doesn't need to be in the key.
Am I the only one gonna fight?
I dodge.
In any case, like I believe it all depends on what Rey is. It all depends on what she decides to do with the Force. If she decides to train anybody, I would help. Or use a stick.
Another step.
Jedi reviving.
Yes, Jedi reviving.
Someone else take him.
Yeah, because I mean, look. Rey is like the only one who could really train Jedi, but she's too emotionally unstable to do shit.
No, again, yeah, fuck this franchise. Seriously, fuck it.
Like they need to start.
And I guarantee you, they're not going to like wait 5 years or 10 years or something like that and bring this shit back.
No, they're gonna start with something else.
Yeah, they're gonna have to.
So they're gonna have to pull Rey out of this emotional whatever the fuck debacle, and that's how they're gonna run it. And then it's gonna be like the power of children and Disney happiness and smiles and hugs is gonna do it.
Well, if they do give the reins over to Jon Favreau, I don't think it's gonna do that. But no, I don't see any part of. And I really, maybe it's my own bias, maybe I'm just hoping it. But just from what I understand about Hollywood and what the reception for these things have been, I don't see Disney investing more money into continuing Daisy Ridley's story. She's not going to get a continuation for this. She might get some movie where she could do a walk-on or something, but even then, I kind of think they're going to move away from, these movies. Definitely the Skywalker thing is done. They just full out, disclaimered that and said, hey, you know what? We're moving on to other shit. They're doing other movies. They might even do singular ones instead of the franchise. Like they're doing, they just did the Solo thing. They got Kenobi coming out on Disney Plus. That is where Star Wars is now. After this Baby Yoda thing, especially right now, they are going to be chasing the cloud. All right, chasing the cloud.
And basically, it's going to be like I think it's going to be like the life of Baby Yoda. That's going to be the new series.
No.
Like,
I doubt you'd get that, but
like every 10 years, Baby Yoda is like 500 years older.
No.
Tell you.
And again, I'm more excited for them to just explore that species, and then we could stop fucking calling it Baby Yoda because it's not what it is.
It's pretty much Baby Yoda.
It's the child. Yoda is an individual.
Right, but okay. So
that
what is Yoda's race called?
Nobody knows. It was never given a name. Even when Yoda.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. Jim Henson himself, when he made these puppets, he just made Yoda to be Yoda. There was no. They didn't even think that his species would have
another Yoda.
No, I know, but it's what I'm saying. The species does exist in Star Wars canon. It has been shown. There are other. Even in the Clone Wars, there is another type of Yoda species that's on the Jedi Council. If you go back, you look at
the orange. With the.
I don't know if he was. No. He's not a. That's not him. But there is another. It's a female who is Yoda's green. They look like that and all this other shit.
Probably.
It's in that. She's on the council. Even then. So we even know that they can exist more than one in the same galaxy at the same time. But there was a time when people were just saying how rare this species is, but when it does show up, it is almost always super force sensitive. It's been in expanded universe stuff. Even in the Old Republic, there are many Yoda-like figures who are like these older, green, long-eared things that are in the Jedi. They're leading them. They're masters and all this other shit. And in our reality, Lucas just never came up with a name for it because all he ever cared about was that there was this wise old thing that is sitting there to teach Luke specifically. It was just one note. Right. And since then, he's just grown in popularity as a character and as a species that it's been added to more shit. That's the thing that at least I'm really excited about with Mandalorian is that in the second season, it looks like Pal Pascal, the bounty hunter, he's going to take the baby, the child, as he's called in the show, officially it's the child. It's going to take him to the home planet of these beings, whatever you want to call them.
Oh, I didn't even see the trailer for the fucking new season.
We can watch something for that separate from this, but I guess that's a good discussion on where the series has gone and where it is now and where it is going, because I foresee Star Wars being more of this type of thing. Right. The streaming service, especially on Disney Plus, they're going to play the shit out of it. Kenobi's probably going to be dope. You'll see more in Mandalorian on multiple seasons. There'll probably be other projects that are going to be bringing down the pipeline. I don't think you're going to see these multi-billion-dollar movie endeavors that get critically panned. People don't really like them, and they're just trying to get the clout. They might do one or two more, I think, individually.
Yeah, but the monetization of things is just too high right now. You see it everywhere. They're gonna milk the fuck out of Star Wars as much as they can. You're gonna get like a bunch of new.
But they can do that without. They can do it without continuing the franchises with 3 movies here and there. Is what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? Like
they can, but
yeah.
are they though?
Well, again, this is just from what I heard in general talking discussion about this.
Yeah.
And the way it was laid out to me was they were going to stop doing the 3 movies and doing them like that, but do individual movies like they did with Solo and the Rogue One movie. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Those we're basically getting Star Wars movies almost every year now, or something on it. And
they should do
those things. Those were standalone. You know, they weren't like, okay, yeah, we're gonna come up with this thing. Now there's gonna be Rogue 2 or Rogue 3. You know, it was always like this is the standalone movie. You'll see more of those. You'll probably get. I wouldn't be surprised if you do get another movie of that like announced soon. It'll be out next December. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, like as far as the episodes, you know what I mean. I don't mind if they do like, you know, standalone movies between like episode. Like what was the last episode? Episodes.
This most recent one is 9.
9. So 10, 11, and 12. If they do 10, 11, and 12, like okay, 10.
I just don't think.
Like
I don't think you're gonna see 10, 11, and 12 well into like a decade from now, if not more. And again, I sincerely hope that it has nothing to do with Daisy Ridley and Finn and fucking John Boyega and what's his nuts who plays Poe.
I
hope it has nothing to do with that. Because they said they were done with the Skywalker saga, Skywalker family saga. That includes Daisy Ridley.
She's a Palpatine though.
The point is that she is trained by Luke, and the entire world that you know about Star Wars from that time is including that. That's the Skywalker.
Okay, but throw her in there. But throw in there because she's not a Skywalker and she's a Palpatine.
It's got nothing to do with that. It's the fact that she ever was involved in that point in time. She would have to do time travel or some shit.
She's not.
So good fucking riddance. I don't think you're gonna see that character or those set of characters anymore. You're not, because you're not gonna see Chewbacca anymore. You're not gonna see Lando. You're not gonna see C-3PO. You won't see BB-8. You're not going to see any of those characters anymore because, just again, like I said, the reception for this thing has been fucking insane. It's been arguably as bad as Jar Jar Binks and that whole debacle.
Bruh, except it's the movie.
Exactly. So I don't see them like saying, okay, let's take another gamble on the state of these characters that we know weren't really fleshed out and people didn't like. Why do that? Like, they can just as easily wait 10 years, come back and do another.
Like, I really went back and watched 1, 2, and 3, and I really like those movies above these.
Yeah, the prequels are better.
Way better.
They're better. And again, the whole thing was, again, the Clone Wars are Star Wars at peak Star Wars. You know, like, even in the OG trilogy, they're the rebel resistance. You know, they're like, you know, they guerrilla warfare and all this other shit. They don't really have like the resources for it to be the whole galactic republic, motherfucker.
Exactly.
You know, fighting off the Confederates and shit. It's all freaking turrets and, you know, boom, 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 and drop ships and, you know, weapons of mass destruction and Jedi generals and all that. That's like peak fucking Star Wars.
Yes.
All right, peak Star Wars. Now you can say what you want about what was the second one? We had the Phantom Menace. The second one was the Clone Wars, and then the third one is Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith also peak fucking. Like, it starts off with them in like a battle over fucking like Coruscant and shit, and you know, and
then he has to land a fucking shit.
Yeah. You know,
and then his slow decay.
Now, granted, it had its bullshit too, and then, like some of the even like the Palpatine face he makes in this fucking day, you know, and
his face getting messed up.
No, Palpatine. He had this like dumbass look where he was fighting Samuel L. Jackson and the other Jedi, and he was doing like,
You mean that thing I sent you?
That shit. Yeah, I was gonna pull it up. Yeah, that thing.
The thing where you were like,
that man.
Wait a minute, yes.
That face. It's shit like that is in that movie. Yes. So it's not like the movie is a masterpiece or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you love Star Wars, the original trilogy is Star Wars at peak, what we would call Star Wars. It's them with the Jedi all over the place. They fucking shit up with lightsabers and force powers. There's Padawans and knights and whole ecosystems. There's whole armies and standing lore and planets and conflicts and diplomacy and shit that's going on in those movies that you would have never even thought of in the original trilogy. In the original trilogy, we weren't thinking about, man, I wonder what life is like on fucking, Alderaan right about now. Are they like dropping?
Alderaan's blown up.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, nobody's thinking about that shit at that point.
Yeah.
But in the prequels, you would think about that shit. And they would probably have a whole episode where they could show you all the shit that's going on.
Especially in Clone Wars.
Wars. It's just more to it than there is, and that's what I'm saying. Like, these recent movies, they don't give you that. They can't.
You don't even know where these planets are. Going to the next. Was Jakku always a thing? Do you remember Jakku? I don't remember.
I would have swore up and down before she left that planet she was on Tatooine. I was like, I know for a fact that shit is Tatooine. It's a giant, literal desert planet that somehow has life on it.
And that's why I was like, okay, she has a connection to Scott.
But no, Jakku is its own thing. It's a different planet in the Outer Rim.
The only great thing about that episode, about episode, what was that, 9?
Yeah.
So 7?
Yeah.
So 7 was that one where...
That was Force Awakens.
Okay.
7. That's the first one with Daisy Ridley.
Greatest thing was, what's his name was in there. And you would never have guessed it. The guy in the fat suit.
Yeah, he's to be played by who? I don't remember.
Shit.
I really didn't care for that character. So.
It was the same dude in Dodgeball. The one who owned the gym. Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Yeah, so, but like, you're not going to get any of that type of shit on this new trilogy, and I don't see it going nowhere. So, if anything, these last 3 movies were a waste of time. They were a waste of time. They were a waste of Star Wars lore, and it's too goddamn bad. I really wish we got something better. But hey, we still got the original trilogy, and we got the prequels.
I'm watching Rebels. I'm halfway through it. It's pretty good. I'd rather watch that. You should watch that. I'm telling you.
Honestly, I think I'm done, man. I'm gonna wait for the Mandalorian and Kenobi.
I feel like it's dying. I feel like Star Wars is kind of dying.
And definitely not. And in fact, this is a whole other reason why I'm glad we got Jedi Fallen Order up right now. Like, I don't loathe this game, but it goes hand in hand.
It's a pretty raw-ass game.
It's got some good parts to it, but it's basically Uncharted in space. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Cool. But
it could have been better.
No, what I was gonna say though is that this came out October of 2019.
Yeah.
Mandalorian like a month around there.
And
so
and
Star
the Mandalorian, and you got the reference, right?
Yeah. So
that's actually why I
Star Wars, I think, has never been healthier as a franchise, but it's suffering from some bullshit being thrown out there. And that's up to Disney. That ain't even on Lucas. They can't no more. They got to own up to the fact that they just let J.J. Abrams and a bunch of other directors and writers just come in here with a $5 billion franchise and let them do whatever the fuck they want. Let them do whatever they wanted. And they didn't have, and again, they need a Kevin Feige-esque figure. When you're talking about shit like this, you need a George Lucas. You need you need somebody.
You're gonna have a lightsaber that's on half a step.
Yeah,
it's gonna basically almost cut your hand off.
You need somebody who can have an overarching understanding of this shit, how it's supposed to go, and how this thing goes over like a dozen hours worth of storytelling. And they just
Palpatine was there the whole time.
Yeah, they just fucking up. Well, yeah, with those movies, but then they had the Mandalorian and shit fucking hot, and then. I anticipate this Kenobi thing to be dope, and then this, Jedi Fallen Order, this was cool. I mean, I'm glad that this came out. I'm glad I got it, but it's done. And I still kind of think
they make a reference. They make a reference in what's it called? I don't think you got it, so I'm gonna actually see if I can get the reference. They make a reference to Fallen Order and Mandalorian about the boggling. Okay, so I totally messed up, and I said, what's his name? was Lando Calrissian, totally messed up, but the dude who's the bounty hunter dude. Why did I do that? Anyways, he picks up Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
He picks up Baby Yoda and he's like, "Oh, look at this little bogling." And that's actually, a bogling is that thing, those little things from that first world you visit in this game.
Oh yeah, those little things that are like running around and shit. Yeah. What's a bogling?
Yeah, I'm about to show you. You can have one on your ship.
Alright, no, I believe it.
Yeah.
Again, I really don't care about the delete this shit after I'm done.
Star Wars.
I got too much other shit to fucking play. I ain't got time to sit around and only reminisce about this one franchise that I grew up with.
First of all, this fucking game.
It's only one of them.
Is not even done. It's not done.
And if there, I'll give you that. If there is some good DLC, if they show me like an expansion that comes out and it looks dope, then I will get it. But if it just looks like some bullshit, I'm not. Damn sure not gonna spend money.
No, they're saying the next game. You have to wait until the next game.
So they're gonna make a sequel to this. I'm sure there's gonna be a Jedi Fallen Order 2.
Yeah, but that's the next time you get anything new.
Okay, so there will be no expansion to this. No DLC to this. I heard anything. I don't know, man. I think that's probably more likely than the sequel.
I don't like this. Look at this.
I would like it if they did.
Levitate maybe a few hundred feet.
Of course you would say that, whatever it means.
I guess you could.
You Jedi folk, you turn into the Force or something when you die? So what are you afraid of?
It's more complicated than that.
Ah, so it's true.
The Jedi have worse things to fear than death.
Oh, well, that's great to hear. Since I'm currently navigating the galaxy, looking for a list of Jedi with two, I don't know, sort of Jedi people. Way to make me feel better, Seer.
Fuck that bitch. Well, anyway, so let's end it right here, man. I love Star Wars, love it as a franchise.
Wacky Space Adventures!
Wacky Space Adventures.
Sit down, kid, it's time to land.
And, the Clone Wars was the peak of this shit, and it's just gone downhill ever since then.
Wait, I gotta show you the bogling.
I don't care about the fucking bogling.
Get the bogling, man. You need a pet.
I don't care. And this shit, I'm only gonna cut it out. This shit's only here.
It's right here. The thing is right here next to
this whole video is only about to get longer, and I'm sure we've already been in it over.
How long have you been? The viewers want bogling. The reason nobody likes you is because you don't have bogling on your shit.
Nobody gives a fuck about your dumbass boglings.
That is the turning point in the Star Wars series, sir. Turning point in the Star Wars. Look at this world. Look at this. Crap. Look at those boglings running around.
It's like Dantooine.
What? Dantooine?
Oh, hey there, little guy.
Look at that. You didn't even see that, did you? Get on the fucking ship.
Kill it.
We'll find you a home.
Get your lightsaber. Kill it. Yes. Murder it now. Cannot be allowed to.
This is the same kind of spear and socket from Zepho. What do you think it does?
Damn, I'm gonna have to feed that fucking thing. It's like a damn gremlin. It's gonna like infest my ship with green shits and stuff if it gets wet.
It's shitting all over the place. I'm gonna have to deal with it. This is stupid. Alright, you can cut it off.
Yeah, just like this. It's stupid.
With the Force, and I can push. I can obviously kill Vader with training.
No. But anyway, alright, we out of here. ChefJBrDee.
Cue into the sound. Hey, advisory notice. Check us out at Beat Vengers on YouTube, Instagram. Check him out. He be spitting too. He ain't gonna tell you, but we got some tracks with him. You know, i.e. Titty Connoisseur. It's coming out soon. Okay, we got a few things coming out. Advisory notice for sure. We don't need no hints. We got a bogling on deck. You know what I'm saying? And once again, January 19th. All of January's advisory notice. So, hey, get ready. Boom. I can only serve so many.
Start with them heat.